Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Okay. Um, Today we are gonna be solving 2017 all MCQ questions in chemistry, October, November. Which process causes the greatest increase in the distance between particles? To cause the greatest increase, it should be from solid to gas, so it must be D. A student put 25 centimeter cube of dilute hydrochloric acid into a conical flask. The student added 2.5 grams of solid sodium carbonate and measured the change in temperature of the mixture. To measure the change in temperature, we will be needing a thermometer, 25 centimeter cube of hydrochloric acid. So specifically, they have mentioned 25, so we will need a pipette and 2.5 grams of sodium carbonate. So a balance pipette and thermometer. The results obtained from a chromatogram are shown, which row gives the RF values of substance X and substance Y. RF values of substance X. Okay. RF values formula is distance traveled by the substance upon distance traveled by the solvent. So to calculate the RF value of substance X, we will be doing 3 upon 5, which is 0.6, and 2.5 upon 5 for Y, which is 0.5. So and the answer is B. Two statements about silicon dioxide are given. It is a hard substance. It has a macromolecular structure with strong covalent bonds, which is correct. Okay, so it has macromolecular structure with strong covalent bonds. That's true because it has a tetrahedral structure. So 2 is correct. So the C1 is not the answer because it has mentioned statement 2 as incorrect. It is both statements are correct and statement 2 explains statement 1. Statement 2, yeah, it has many strong covalent bonds, therefore it is a hard substance. The answer is A. Which statement explains why isotopes of the same element have same chemical properties? That's because they have the same electronic configuration. Uh, Different number of neutrons, no. Same number of neutrons, that's not true. Same number of protons as neutrons, even that's not true. Therefore, the answer is C, because they have the same number of outer shell electrons. Which dot and cross diagram shows the outer shell electron arrangement in a molecule of nitrogen? Nitrogen forms triple covalent bonds, right? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is incorrect because it cannot have 6 electrons in the outer shell, outermost shell. 1, 2, 3. No, this is not correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This looks legitimate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Even this looks legitimate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it forms 3 bonds. Therefore, one bond, second bond, and third bond, and two electrons in the two electrons that are not making any pair. So lone pair of electrons. So the answer is B. The equation for the reaction between barium chloride solution and dilute sulfuric acid is shown. Which row shows the state symbols for this reaction? Okay, barium sulfate is an insoluble compound. Therefore, it needs to be solid. BaCl would be aqueous to react with H2SO4, which must also be aqueous. So aqueous, solid, and HCl must be aqueous. A compound is analyzed and found to contain 85.7% carbon and 14.3% hydrogen. What's the empirical formula? The AR of carbon is 12, so we will do 85.7 upon 12, which gives us 7.14, and 14.3 upon 1, which is 14.3. Therefore, 7.14 is less than 14.3. So 14.3 would be divided by 7.14, which gives us 2, which gives us 2. So CH2 must be the answer. Which statements about the electrolysis of concentrated copper chloride are correct? Electrons are transferred from the cathode to the copper ions. From the cathode to the copper ions. Electrons move around the external circuit from the cathode to the anode. Chloride ions are attracted to the anode. Yeah, that's true, cause chloride anions, so they must be attracted to the anode. Hydroxide ions transfer electrons to the cathode. uh, OH minus ions lose 4 electrons, which would travel to cathode. So 4 is correct. Next, chloride ions are attracted to the anode. Um, okay. Uh, this is concentrated copper chloride, and if it is concentrated according to rules, any halide in a concentrated solution must go to the anode. So 3 is correct. Electrons move round the external circuit from cathode to anode. From cathode to anode. That's not true. It moves from anode to cathode. Electrons are transferred from the cathode to the copper ions. From the cathode, electrons are transferred from the cathode to the copper ions. Right. Cu plus 2e minus gives you Cu. So 1 and 3. 1 and 3 are correct. It's basically because copper is less reactive than hydrogen, therefore it goes towards cathode, and cathode has a supply of 4 electrons, which is being lost by chloride ions. So yeah, which metal combination produces the highest voltage reading in the cells shown? To produce highest voltage, there should be the largest difference between reactivity. So magnesium is the most reactive element, and copper. So it's D. Okay, all right. What is the energy change for this reaction? And okay, for this question, I'll annotate. N2H4 gives you N2 plus 2H2. Here they are given the structural formula, so that's a great help. And N must be like this, and there are two bonds like this. Okay, so n minus n dash n, which is 390, so 390 plus nh, which are 4, n and h, 160 into 4, that's a reactant side, n3n 945, and h, which is 2 into 4, 36. Right. So 390 plus 160 into 4, 1030. 945 plus 2 into 436, 1817. Wait, I must have missed something. Wait, 1030 minus 1817, which gives us minus 787. That's not the answer. Okay, this reaction is exothermic. That means the answer must be negative, and that means it is from A and B. Okay, all right. This is one bond, and these are four NH bonds, and NH is 160, so 160 into 4, that's 640, and NN is that's 390. So this is correct, and this uh okay. So let's try it again. Start from the scratch, yeah. They have given us the structural formula of N2H4. N and N is 160, and NH. Oh wait, I must have been mistaken. Yeah, right. N and N is 160. So 160 and 390, and H is 390 into 4. So 160 plus 390 into 4. That's 1720. And 945 plus 2 into 436. 945 plus 2 into 436. That gives us 1817. 1720 minus 1817. That's 97. So the answer is B. Okay. This statement describes an exothermic reaction. In exothermic reaction, more energy is released in bond making than absorbed in bond breaking. So let's see our options. The energy absorbed for bond breaking is greater. That's false. The energy absorbed for bond breaking is less than energy released in bond formation. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, mostly that is perfect. We'll check our answers later. The mass of the beaker and its contents is plotted against time, which graph represents what happens when sodium carbonate reacts with excess of dilute hydrochloric acid in an open beaker. Okay, so there's excess of dilute hydrochloric acid and we have sodium carbonate. The rate of reaction always decreases, and the mass of the beaker and okay, it it will not go to zero because we have excess dilute hydrochloric acid, so there must be some mass in the beaker. Uh, Okay, the answer must be B because the mass must decrease. Therefore, A cannot be the right one. The mass must decrease. Therefore, D is constant and it cannot be the right one. And C literally goes to the bottom, which sounds dumb. So yeah, B. Which two is correct? CuO plus H2 oxidizing agent is the one that reduces itself. That means it loses oxygen atom. So CuOH here is losing an oxygen atom and therefore it is an oxidizing agent, and H2 gains an oxygen atom, so it is a reducing agent. Answer is B. Ethanoic acid reacts slowly with calcium carbonate. Which statement explains why an increase in temperature increases the rate of reaction? The particles have more energy and increase in collision rate. 2 and 3. Methane reacts with steam to produce hydrogen and carbon monoxide. The equation for the reaction is shown. This reaction is reversible. The forward reaction is endo, which changes in temperature and pressure increases the equilibrium yield. Okay, so we need to increase the yield of carbon monoxide, and the forward reaction is endothermic. That means increase in temperature will increase yield because it will favor the forward reaction as it is endothermic. So temperature must increase and pressure to the ratio of pressure in the reactant side is 2 and at the right hand side is 4, 2 is to 4. Therefore, um, decrease in pressure will help. So C. Okay, oxide 1 reacts with both acid and alkalis. That's straightforward amphoteric. Reacts with acids to form salts, but does not react with alkalis. If it does not react with alkali, it is an alkali. So the substance must be basic in nature. So amphoteric and basic. Oxide 3 does not react with acid, therefore it is an acid. So acidic and does not react with, okay, then the option is B because neutral compounds or neutral substances do not react with either acid or alkalis. What is not a typical characteristic of acids? Character. Okay, they react with alkalis producing water. That's true. They react with all metals producing hydrogen. Okay, dilute hydrochloric acid does not react with copper. So okay, and they turn blue litmus paper red. That's true. They react with carbonates, producing carbon dioxide. Yeah, that's true. So the answer is B, because copper cannot react with hydrochloric acid because it is below hydrogen in the reactivity series. Okay, zinc sulfate is made by reacting an excess of zinc oxide with H2SO4. The excess zinc oxide is then removed from the solution, which process is to obtain solid zinc sulfate from the solution. Okay, if it is removed from zinc oxide and it is in excess, I guess zinc oxide is insoluble in nature, so it can be filtered and zinc sulfate will be obtained. Right, give me a minute. Is to obtain solid zinc sulfate. If it is solid in nature, if zinc sulfate is being solid, so it is insoluble. Zinc oxide is soluble. There, but still, it's filtration. What is used to test for chlorine? Uh, damp, damp litmus paper. Which statement about the trends across a period of the periodic table are correct? Aluminium is more metallic than sodium. Beryllium is more metallic than carbon. Boron is more metallic than lithium, and magnesium is more metallic than silicon. Okay, so as we go to the right of the periodic table, um, the metals become less metallic. So sodium is more metallic than aluminium, because yeah, sodium is more reactive than aluminium. Beryllium is more metallic than carbon. Well, of course, cause carbon is a non-metal. So 2 looks correct to me. Boron is more metallic. That's false. Boron is a no, no, no. That's no, no. Magnesium is more metallic than silicon. 2 and 4 is our answer. Group 1 and group 2 elements are the most metallic compared to other elements. So sodium is in group 1 and magnesium is in group 2. Okay, astatine is an element in group 7 of the periodic table. Astatine is dash reactive than iodine. As we go down the group in group 7, the reactivity decreases, so astatine is less reactive. The melting point of astatine is dash and the melting point of iodine, wait, we'll keep that on hold. And astatine is darker, it has to be darker. So the answer must be less and darker, and beach mein less and darker, less and darker, less and darker. Okay, so it's there's one option for less and darker. So A. Which row describes the properties of a typical transition element? Melting point high forms colored compounds can act as a catalyst. Melting point high forms colored compounds can act as a catalyst. Transition element has colored compounds, so that's a yes there. Yes and high. So on the answer is B. Okay. Why is argon gas used to fill electric lamps? It is unreactive. It is a noble gas, and it is not reactive in nature. What is property of all metals? All metals conduct electricity, are hard, no melting points. They all conduct electricity because they all contain free delocalized electrons that can move around. Aluminium is extracted by the electrolysis of aluminium oxide. Which statement is correct? Okay, the electrodes are made from graphite. Cryolite decided to lower the melting point of aluminium oxide. Carbon dioxide being oxidized. Well, it is reduced at the cathode. Aluminium ions Al3 plus gain 3 electrons, and gain of electrons is reduction. So A is incorrect because they are reduced and not oxidized. Which row describes how the metals are used? Mixed with zinc to form brass. Mixed with zinc. Copper and zinc. Okay, yeah, copper. Used to galvanize iron. That's zinc. That's zinc. Okay, 28. Which statement is correct? Q is calcium. Okay. Nitrate of Q. Appearance white. Solubility soluble. Effect of heat. Colorless gas. Evolved. Which relights a glowing splint. Okay, that's oxygen. So in nitrate of Q, oxygen is released, calcium nitrate, magnesium nitrate, potassium, and sodium. Okay, let's see the other options. Um, Carbonate of Q, white solid, soluble, effect of heat or reaction. Okay, if it is a carbonate and the effect of heat does not have any change, that means it is a very stable compound, and to be a very stable compound it must be in group 1 and 2. um, okay, so that's established. Okay, we only have group 1 and 2. Okay, nitrate of R, brown gas evolved. Brown gas, okay, so that's NO2. Red brown gas is NO2, and carbonate of R, colorless gas evolved, which turns lime water milky. Okay, calcium carbonate. When calcium carbonate is heated, it forms lime and carbon dioxide, which turns lime water milky because it is a test for carbon dioxide. So we have, okay, yeah, R is calcium and Q must be sodium because, as I told, sodium is a very a reactive element and it forms very stable compounds which cannot be decomposed. And when sodium nitrate will be burned, yeah, when sodium nitrate will be burned, it will form sodium nitrite and oxygen, and not sodium oxide plus NO2 plus O2. So yeah, that's that. The answer is D. The flow chart shows stages in the treatment of a river water to produce drinking water. What occurs at stages X and Y? River water settling tank, stage X, stage Y. Stage Y must be chlorination. Stage X must be filtration. So the answer is C. Okay, 30th. Four iron nails had different metals wrapped around them. The nails are placed in an open dish filled with water and left for a week. Which iron nail has no protection against rusting? Wrapped in aluminium, wrapped in zinc, wrapped in okay. Copper is less reactive than iron, so it won't lose electrons compared to iron. So iron will lose electrons. The loss of electrons is basically rusting. So B is not being protected. What are the sources of nitrogen? Hydrogen used in Haber. Nitrogen is the air fractional distillation of liquid air. Hydrogen is reacting methane with steam. So the answer is C. Which process does not produce carbon dioxide? Photosynthesis uses carbon dioxide. Answer is C. The answer is B. My bad. Which row shows the condition used to the manufacture of sulfuric acid by the contact process? Okay. Contact process needs the condition 400 temperature, pressure must be 2, and catalyst is V2O5. That needs to be learned. Yeah, D. Some marble chips, calcium carbonate, are heated strongly and substances X and Y are formed. Substance X is a white solid that reacts with water, giving out heat. Substance Y is a colorless gas. What are substances X and Y? Okay. If calcium carbonate is heated, it must form calcium oxide, which is lime, and carbon dioxide, which is gas. So the answer is C. 35th one. Which structures represent an alkane with 4 carbon atoms? Okay. Alkane, so no double bonds. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That's 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, that's 4. 1, 2, 3. Alkane with 4 carbon atom. That must be propane. What's the difference between these two? Let's find out. Okay, yeah. Oh, we have two options. Perfect. 2 and 4. That's C. Some of the fractions obtained from fractional distillation of petroleum are used as fuels for vehicles. Which two fractions are used as fuels for vehicles? Okay. Bitumen is used for making road. Naphtha is used for chemical industry. So lubricating fraction is used for waxes. So option B and D are wrong. Okay, okay. The answer is C because gasoline and kerosene are used for fuels. X, Y, and Z are three hydrocarbons. What do compounds X, Y, and Z have in common? Uh, they are alkenes because they have C double bond C. They are all part of the same homologous series. If they are all alkenes, they have to be this part of the same homologous series. They all have the same boiling point. That's not possible. 1 and 2. As the number of carbon atoms increase, the boiling point increases. The diagram shows a reaction sequence which row names a process X, Y, and Z. Butane to ethene cracking, ethene to ethanol hydration. No, wait a minute. Ethene to ethanol, yeah, that's hydration, and ethanol to carbon dioxide and water, that's combustion. So you cracking, hydration, combustion. B. Which pair of compounds can be used to prepare that? Okay. Um, so we have a breakage here. This one, two, three. That's three. So that's propanoic acid. Propanoic acid. Here we are. And 1, 2. That's ethanol. So the answer is C. Hopefully, yeah. The structure shows that it is a polyamide. Yeah. This bond is polyamide and is formed by dash polymerization, condensation. Okay, let's check our answers. Oh, we have got a mistake there. 19th one. Zinc sulfate is made by reacting excess of zinc oxide with sulfuric acid. The excess zinc oxide is then removed from the solution, which process is used to obtain solid zinc sulfate. Okay, okay, zinc sulfate is very soluble. If it is soluble, then crystallization process must occur, and to remove zinc, so zinc oxide must be a insoluble compound, and that needs to be filtered. Okay, yeah, point to be remembered. Let's take a break of 5. Okay, the second paper. The diagram shows arrangement of particles in 3 states of matter. Let's check we are live, right? Yeah, yes we are. The diagram shows arrangement of particles in 3 states of matter: solid carbon dioxide, dry ice, okay, sublimes to gaseous carbon dioxide. Which row describes the initial and final states? Okay, solid. Solid, that means packed, and that's our initial stage, so that's R. And final, that's P because it's gaseous in nature. During an experiment, a measurement is recorded in centimeter cube. Which apparatus is used? Centimeter cube, okay, stop clock cannot be used, thermometer cannot be used, balance cannot be used, measuring cylinder. Okay, a student carried out paper chromatography on a mixture of amino acids. The student sprayed the dried chromatogram with locating agent. What is the function of the locating agent? Sometimes some amino acids or some substances are not visible, they are colorless in nature, so we need to see them, and that's why locating reagent or locating agent such as ninhydrin are applied. To stop the amino acids reacting, no. To preserve the amino acids, no. To dissolve, no. To form colored spots with the amino acids, that's correct. Which row describes silicon oxide? Silicon oxide has a giant structure, is an acidic oxide, conducts electricity. Silicon oxide is a tetrahedral structure, that means it is a very giant structure, so that's correct. Acidic oxide because silicon is a non, oh wait, silicon is a non-metal, right? 286, yeah, it's a non-metal, so that's correct. And conducts electricity, that's not possible. The answer is B. It cannot conduct electricity because it does not contain any free ions or free electrons. It can move around. Why do isotopes of the same element have the same chemical properties? Well, as we discussed, it has the same electronic configuration. Which dot and cross diagram shows the outer shell electron arrangement of a molecule of carbon dioxide? Okay, carbon needs 4 bonds, atoms to complete its 4 electrons to complete its octet state, and oxygen needs two. So, well, A is incorrect because oxygen does not have 8 electrons. B is incorrect because carbon does not have 8 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. D looks D looks legitimate. 1 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. D. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Carbon only contains four electrons in the outer shell, but here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's incorrect. The answer is C. It has 4 electrons and 2 bonds are formed. O double bond C, C double bond O. The answer is the answer is C. Yeah. The equation for the reaction between phosphorus and oxygen is shown. Which values of X, Y, and Z balance the equation? Okay, which values of X, Y, and Z? Here we have 4 and here we have 2. Okay, and here we have 5. So if we keep 1 here and here 2 and here 5, 1, 5, 2, that's gonna work. Okay. Okay, here we go again. I'll share my annotating diagram here. 54.5 upon 12, that gives you 4.54. 9.1 upon 1, that's 9.1. 36.4 upon, wait, yeah. Excuse me. 36.4 upon 16. 2.275. This is the lowest one, so we will divide it by everything. 4.54 upon, this looks 2, but let's check it on the calculator. Yeah, that's 2, and this looks 3, but let's check it. 2.225. No, that's 4, my bad. Yeah, it's 4. So C2H4. Oh, that's an empirical formula. So this will be 12 into 2 plus 4 plus 16. That's 44. 88 upon 44. So 2 C2H4O and C4H8O2. Okay. Which statement about the electrolysis of copper chloride are correct? Okay, yeah, we did this one in the last paper. The answer is 1 and 3. 1 and 3, yeah. Okay, we did this one too. The answer was D. Okay. The energy change for the combustion of methane is minus 890. The bond energies are shown in the table. What is the bond energy of C double bond O? Okay. This is CH4. CH has CH. Okay, let me just draw the diagram. CH H H H plus O2 O2. Then we have okay, it's like this, and HOH2. So here we need this. CH is given as 410, so into 4, and O is 496 into 2. Here 2x plus, here we have HO as 2, so 460 into 2 into 2. 2632, and here 460 into 2 into 2, 1840. So 2632 minus 2x minus 1840 gives you minus 890. So let's subtract 2632 minus 1840. That gives us 792. 792 plus 890, 1682 equals to 2x. And yeah, that's 841. So the answer is B. The next one, which statement describes an exothermic? Yeah, that's B. We have discussed this previously. This has also been discussed. That's B. Copper metal donates electrons to silver ions. Zinc metal donates electrons to copper ions. What is the strongest reducing agent? Okay, the more reactive the element, the more it likes to stay as ions, and to stay as ions, loss of electrons. So metal should be the reducing agent, not the ions, because ions are gaining electrons to and and okay, wait a minute. Reducing agent is the one that oxidizes itself. That means loss of electrons, and metals will lose electrons. But now, out of both metals, copper and zinc, we need to find a better reducing agent, therefore higher reactivity. So it's zinc. It's D. Because zinc is more reactive, so it will lose electrons more readily. Four statements about the effect of increasing temperature on the reaction are shown. Which statements are correct? The particles move faster, there are more collision which have energy greater than activation energy, there are more collision. Okay, 2 and 3. That's it, yeah. Which changes would increase the equilibrium yield of SO3? 3 is to 2. The pressure ratio is 3 is to 2, so therefore uh, increase in pressure would definitely increase the yield. Temperature lowering, yes, exothermic reaction is favored by low temperatures 1 and 2, and decreasing the concentration of oxygen. Yeah, no, that's incorrect. The position of the equilibrium, to be exact, will shift towards the left, so that's incorrect. But 9 2 is the answer. Okay, we have discussed this one. That's B. This is B, as discussed in the previous. Okay, yeah, yo. Excess copper sulfate can be prepared by adding excess copper carbonate to sulfuric acid. Why is an excess of copper carbonate added? To make sure all the sulfuric acid has reacted. That's the only reason. Compound B reacts with hydrochloric acid to produce a gas that turns lime water milky. Okay, to produce carbon dioxide, which turns lime water milky, we need metal carbonate. So here we have only one option, and that's A. Which statement about nitrogen and phosphorus is not correct? His statement about nitrogen and phosphorus is not correct. Both are non-metals. Both have the same number of electrons in the outer shell. And three p. Wait. The periodic table. 8 25 and 285. Yeah, they're the same number of electrons in the outer shell. They are in the same period and they are in the same group. They cannot be in the same period, but yeah, they're in the same group. Sodium and rubidium are elements in group 1 of the periodic table. Which statement is correct? Sodium has lower density. Sodium is more reactive. Okay, sodium has more electrons than rubidium. That's incorrect. Sodium is more reactive than rubidium. That's incorrect. About density and melting point, as we go down the group, the density of group 1 elements decrease or increase? Let me just check. Increases. So okay, if the density is increasing, that means sodium has lower density than rubidium. The answer is B. Which properties do all the elements chromium, iron, and vanadium have in common? These all are transition elements, therefore they all have everything in common. So that's A. Argon is a noble gas. It is unreactive. All metals conduct electricity, as discussed before. Aluminium is extracted from bauxite. What shows the anode material, anode reaction? Okay, anode material here would be carbon, and reaction. Hmm, Aluminium is cation and it will go towards cathode instead of anode. So the answer is B. Here we go. Which statement about the metal zinc is not correct? Used to make brass, used to prevent iron from rusting, manufactured by the electrolysis of zinc blende. It forms an oxide more readily than iron. Oh wait, electrolysis of zinc blende, that's incorrect. Zinc blende is not electrolyzed. I hope so, I'm correct. It forms an oxide more readily than iron. Yeah, that is correct. So let's go with B. Calcium nitrate decomposes when it is heated. Calcium nitrate. Okay. What is the equation for the thermal decomposition of calcium nitrate? Okay. C and D are definitely incorrect. The options are from A and B, and I think it's A. Calcium CO2 plus. Not very strong element. So it does not form very strong compounds. So can be decomposed easily. Yeah, I think the answer is A. Okay, we have done this. It's filtration and chlorination. Effect of galvanizing iron is pure iron and galvanized iron. Okay, so pure iron in the test tube of pure iron, oxygen and water vapor would be used up, which results in decrease in pressure, and water is pushed up or it rises. So tube X rise and no change in tube Y cause galvanized iron is protected. Catalyst in Haber process, that's iron. Which process removes CO2 from the atmosphere? That's photosynthesis. Contact process 400, 200, high temperature, low pressure, catalyst is V2O5. Okay, calcium carbonate when heated decomposes to form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide, as we know. So carbon dioxide turns lime water milky and it is colorless. Let's see. Which compounds are unsaturated? Unsaturated compounds have C double bond C, and the only element I can see is V. So the answer is D. Which statement is not correct? The petroleum is a mixture of hydrocarbons. The main constituent of natural gas is ethane. That's definitely wrong. It's methane. X, Y, and Z are hydrocarbons. Okay, we have done this. It's 1 and 2, paper 21. We have done this too, and it is cracking, hydration, and combustion. Which substance react to form this ester? Here, let's make a breakage. Okay, the breakage is here. 1, 2, 3. That's propanoic acid. 1, 2. That's ethanol, ethanol, and propanoic acid. Let's go with B. Polymer. Okay, C double bond C will definitely break, so this cannot be the option. H CH3 CH3. Okay, the answer is T. Let's hope we have got everything correct. Ah, okay, let's go there. Four statements about the effect of increasing temperature and reaction are shown. Which statement are correct? Ah, the answer was C. Okay, there are more collisions which have energy greater than the activation energy. Okay, yeah, of course. As the temperature increases, the particles have higher kinetic energy, so therefore less activation energy needed to jumpstart the molecules to explain in a simple manner. So definitely, the four, 2 and 3 must be there, and 4 also is the correct answer. Okay. Okay, so the last and final paper, paper 3, 2017 October November paper 3. Let's go. Which statement describes sublimation? Sublimation is the change from gas to from solid to gas. So particles moving slowly past each other speed up and move further apart. Slowly past each other is is liquid, and move further apart is gas. Liquid to gas is boiling or evaporation. That's incorrect. Particles vibrating next to each other become mobile and move slowly past each other. That's solid to liquid. That's melting. Particles vibrating next to each other move rapidly and move further apart. Yeah, that's right. Gas to solid. Solid to gas, my bad. Yeah. 25 centimeter cube of an alkali are added to 20 centimeter cube of an acid. The temperature change is measured. Which apparatus is not needed in this experiment? The temperature change is measured, so we need to measure temperature using a thermometer. 25 centimeter cube of an alkali. So we need a measuring cylinder. We need a measuring cylinder to measure 25 centimeter cube of an alkali, and 20 centimeter cube of an acid. Same measuring cylinder. Okay, which is not needed. We do not need a balance because we are not measuring mass here. What is the RF value of 4-aminophenol? 4-aminophenol. The painkiller paracetamol is synthesized from 4-aminophenol. Chromatography was carried out on an impure sample of paracetamol. The results are shown. Okay, P is pure paracetamol, impure sample of paracetamol. Okay, yeah. 0 point. Okay, so these are the real paracetamol substances, or what do I say? Stains on the chromatography paper. 0.17 upon 0.35. So 0.49 is the answer. We divided 0.17 upon 0.35 because distance traveled by the substance upon distance traveled by the solvent. Which compound is silicon oxide? Okay, silicon oxide has high melting point because tetrahedral structure, good electrical conductor when solid, that's a no. Good electrical conductor when molten, that's not true. So the answer is T. It does not conduct electricity because it does not have free ions or electrons that can move around. Carbon has three naturally occurring isotopes, which statement explains why the isotopes have the same chemical properties. Again, same chemical properties because they have the same electronic configuration, same number of electrons in the outer shell. That indirectly means same electronic configuration. Okay, as we know, it is this is carbon dioxide's formula. So O double bond C, C double bond O, double bond, double bond. Yeah. See, we have double bond here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oxygen completed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 completed, and two bonds here. That's the answer. The equation represents the reaction between magnesium oxide and dilute hydrochloric acid to form magnesium chloride in water. Which row shows the state symbols for hydrochloric acid, magnesium chloride, and water? Okay. Magnesium chloride is soluble, so aqueous, and H2O is liquid. Cause yeah, H2O is liquid cause it is water, obviously. And MgO, we do not have MgO here, and HCl aqueous because it needs to react with MgO, MgCl2 aqueous, H2O liquid. Okay. Empirical formula: calcium, silicon, and 41.4% oxygen. Silicon Mr. Ar. My bad. Okay, no, we need the exact one. Okay, yeah, let's take 23. So 35.4 upon 40, which is 0.885, 25, 24.1. What do we take? Let's take 23, it does not matter much. 24.1 upon 23, 1. And oxygen, 41.4 upon 16, 2.56. This is the low. No, actually, this is the lowest. So let's divide it by everything. Okay, I think the answer is gonna be really weird. 1 0.885. That's 1 point. Okay, that's 1.13 and 0.885. That's gonna be 2.56 upon 0.885. That's 2.89. Okay, so we are getting SI 0.885. No, that's not SI, that's Ca. SI 1.13 and oxygen 2.89. What can we multiply to make it sensible? Okay, if we multiply it by 2, so 0.85 into 2, that's 1.77. And this looks weird. 35 point. Calcium is 40, right? Let's open the periodic table. Okay, so silicon was 28. Oh my god, silicon was 28. Calcium was 40 and oxygen was 16. Um, let's use the corrected results. So 35.4 upon 40, 0.885, that was correct. 24.1 upon 28, 24.1 upon 28, that's 0.86, so this is almost same. And 41.4 upon 16, oopsies, That's 2.59. 2.59 divided by 0.86. That's 3. Okay, so I guess we have got our answer. It's B. Okay, that was tricky. Which statements about electrolysis of copper chloride? Okay, we have done this again, the third time. It's A. And this is B. Some bond energies are shown in the table. Hydrogen reacts with oxygen. The reaction is exo. If it is exo, then it should be negative. The change should be negative. And this H minus H is H dash H would be multiplied by 2. So 436 into 2. That gives us 872 plus O2 gives us O2 plus 4 O2 is 496. So we added that's 1368 minus this is O dash H dash O into 2. So 460 into 4. 460 into 4. That's minus 472. So which statement describes an exothermic reaction? Answer is B, because absorbed in more energy absorbed for bond breaking is less than the energy released by bond formation. Okay. Okay, the answer is B as discussed before. Um, okay, yeah. Ag, silver, it is exposed to light, it reduces, it decomposes. So this is loss of electron. Oh wait, okay, if it is loss of electron, um, then it is being oxidized. The reaction is oxidation, and the half equation would be this. Because to be honest, this E must be there, Ag minus E, and that gives you Ag plus. This statement about the effect of concentration and temperature on the rate of reaction is not correct. If the temperature is increased, the rate of reaction increases because particles have sufficient energy to react. That's correct. If the temperature is increased, the rate of reaction increases because there are more collision between particles per second. That's also correct. If the concentration of a reactant is increased, the rate of reaction increases because there are more collision between particles per second. Okay, and the rate of reaction increases because particles are okay. A is wrong because increase in concentration does not do any good to the energy in particles. The following reaction has reached equilibrium in a closed system. The forward reaction is exo, which row shows the effect of increasing the pressure on the equilibrium mixture. Pressure, okay, 3 is to 2. So reaction rate would always increase because particles would collide more. So reaction rate increases. Amount of SO2 would decrease if the pressure is increased because 3 is to 2. So the equilibrium will shift to the right and SO3 will increase. So increases, decreases, increases. That's A. Okay, we have done this. It's B. And this was B2 as discussed in the previous paper. Three solids PQR react with sulfuric acid to producing sulfate. P and R produce gases during the reaction. The gas produced when P reacts will not burn. The gas produced when P reacts will not burn. The gas produced when R reacts will burn. Okay, the gases will burn and will not burn. Dilute sulfate to producing sulfate. Zinc plus dilute sulfuric acid gives you zinc sulfate plus hydrogen. Hydrogen does burn in air, so that's incorrect. So hydrogen will be formed when it is zinc, and zinc should be your because hydrogen will burn. All right, will not burn. So zinc oxide will form H2O. H2O. Water does not burn in air, according to me. So that's D, zinc, and then we are left with carbon dioxide gas, which will be formed. So yeah, let's take it as B, and let's flag this question. Which ion forms a green precipitate with aqueous sodium that dissolves in excess of aqueous? Okay, that dissolves in an excess of. If it dissolves in excess, then it is chromium and not Fe2 plus ion, because it does not dissolve in excess. Both have gray. To be honest, chromium has gray-green precipitate. Yeah, but let's see. The letters are not the chemical symbols. Which statement is correct? Element R does not conduct electricity. Element R and Y react to form an ionic compound. Element Z exists as di. That's completely wrong. Noble gas is a monoatomic in nature. In which part of the periodic table is X found? X high melting point. No, that's high boiling point. Reaction with cold water. Reaction. Okay, white solid. If it is white solid, it cannot be transition. And okay, well, it's very high melting point or a boiling point. So I think it's group one. Element. Yeah, let's see. It's group one. Which other property would you expect this element to have? Okay, it forms a colored compound which is gray, so it definitely acts as a catalyst because transition. It is a transition element. Okay, argon is not used because argon is used because it is unreactive, which property conduct electricity. Why is cryolite used to as a main source solvent for as a coolant to prevent and catalyst? Okay, cryolite is used as a solvent to increase conductivity of aluminium oxide. So the answer is C. Metal M is mixed with copper to produce brass. It is zinc. Zinc and copper produce brass. Some metal nitrates and carbonates decompose when heated strongly. Metal Q has nitrate that decomposes to give a salt and colorless gas only. The carbonate of metal Q does not get decompose when heated with a Bunsen burner. Again, sodium carbonate is a very strong compound and therefore it does not decompose like always. We have discussed this. I think it's filtration, chlorination. A piece of zinc is attached to the hull of a steel boat. Steel is an alloy of iron, which statement explains why the zinc prevents iron from rusting. Zinc is more reactive than iron and more likely to lose electrons because more reactive the element, more likely, more it likes to stay as ions. So to stay as ions, it must lose electrons. The Haber process for making ammonia is carried out at a temperature of 450 and a pressure of 200 in the presence of a catalyst, which statement is not correct. Okay, the reaction is reversible, which can proceed forwards or backwards. That's correct. Maintaining a very high pressure is difficult and needs expensive equipment. That's correct. Lowering the temperature slows down the rate at which ammonia is produced, and lowering the pressure increases the rate. Lowering the pressure, increasing the rate, that's not correct. Rate of reaction is directly proportional to pressure, so therefore decrease in pressure would decrease the rate of reaction, decrease the rate of ammonia being produced. Which process does not produce carbon dioxide? Photosynthesis. Contact, it is 400 high temperature, low pressure, V2O5. Calcium carbonate and heated decomposes to form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide turns lime water milky. Calcium oxide is lime. R, it is an alcohol, so the only alcohol we can find here is propanol because alcohols have that OL in the ending. Okay, what are the major uses of these fractions? Jet fuel making chemicals, no, that's naphtha. Jet fuel making roads, no, that's bitumen. Ship fuel making chemicals, What? Oh, my bad. I've been matching it wrong. Okay, fuel oil and naphtha. Naphtha is used to make chemicals, and fuel oil. I guess fuel oil is for ship or jet. Okay, I'm confused. Fuel oil, fuel oil. Let's go with C. Yeah. X, Y, and Z are three hydrocarbons. Okay, we have discussed this before. The answer is B. Okay, we have. Okay, this was B, cracking, hydration, combustion. Let's have a breakage here. One, two, three. Propanoic acid. One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three, four. Butanol. Butanol and propanoic acid. Butanol and propanoic acid. Last question for 2017, October, November. Which row describes Kevlar? Okay, this is a polyamide and condensation polymerization. Let's check our answers. Okay. We have a lot of wrong answers. Three. Correct answer is C. S was impure sample of paracetamol. P is pure. Okay, so aminophenol is the impurity. Therefore, we needed to find the RF value of the impurity, and so we had to divide 0.26 by 0.35. So basically, aminophenol was impurity, and we had to find the RF value of this substance, which was the impurity, and these two were the pure paracetamol. Silver chloride reacts when it is exposed to light. Silver chloride reacts. Okay, silver chloride reacts. That means AgCl is decomposing and not Ag particularly. And if AgCl will decompose, it is Ag plus, so it would gain electron, and gaining of electron is reduction. Therefore, gaining of electron is reduction. So this basically type of reaction is right, and silver chloride reacts when it is exposed to light. So AgCl might react with magnesium, for example, and magnesium will displace AgCl, will displace Ag in Cl because it is more reactive, and therefore Ag will gain an electron and become a metal. The answer is C. Okay, so CO2 is the gas which does not burn in air. Let's cross check it. Okay, well, we do not have an answer, but I think yeah, that's correct. As what we know is now CO2 does not burn in air, and yeah, hydrogen burns in air because this answer was correct. And well, we are left with oxygen gas, which literally stimulates fire, so it burns everything. So that's why we do not have an option here. Perfect. Okay. Okay, which statement is correct? I marked the statement which wasn't correct. Elements R and Y react together to form an. Okay, yeah. Halide. This is halide. This is group one element. Sodium and chlorine, for example, form sodium chloride, a salt, and that's an ionic compound. Silly mistake. And this was C. Why? Zinc is more reactive and iron is more likely. Okay. Iron is less likely to lose electrons. Therefore, zinc is more likely. Just read the question, guys. Um, it's easy. It's quite easy paper. So, yeah, that's it.